So today I'm going to be talking about how our customers use Celayix specifically for time and attendance purposes. So today I'm going to be taking you through how employees clock in and out on our system, how that information is then sorted and approved within Celayix's time processing, and how supervisors can review time and attendance data from their employees within Time Express. So to begin, we'll look at the employee app. This is Team Express. I'm looking at it right now in the mobile view. Employees can access it either on their computer or on their smartphones. And one of the most common ways that the employees clock in and out on our system is through this mobile app. So they're simply swiping to clock in. And of course, this is going to be geo-fenced, so they have to be on site in order to successfully clock in. Other ways for employees to clock in and out of our system are by dialing in from a landline, having supervisors clock them in on the supervisor application, or clocking in and out on a time clock. And we have a variety of different kinds of hardware that employees can clock in and out of, whether it be by swiping a key card or typing in a PIN code, or even using biometrics like your thumbprint. Another thing employees can do is create their own shifts if they have to work an ad hoc shift that they were not originally scheduled for. So within timesheets on their app, they can actually go in here and put the information, really just the bare bones information of a shift, into this window, which will then appear on the schedule as an actual shift that then has to be approved by a manager in order for it to be processed and sent to payroll. But this is really good for industries where employees have to quickly react and work shifts that they might not have initially been scheduled for. So an employee could open this up, record their clock in time, their clock out time, if they recorded any breaks, any additional notes, and if we want to include other information in here, like the site they were working at or the service they were providing or the customer they were working for, that can be included as well. So those are some of the ways that employees can clock in and out on our system. Like I said before, by far the most common way is using the app, but there's a number of different ways depending on the industry that we're working in or the environment that the employee is working in. So the next piece here is going to be the main application within Celayix, which is called Schedule Express. Here we see the schedule for the upcoming week. We can always change those different views to a daily view, a monthly view, or a custom view. In this current view, I can see the shifts that have been worked, where employees have already clocked in and out of those shifts. Those shifts are all highlighted here with a black font. And the shifts that have not yet been worked are highlighted here with the blue font. So we can clearly see which shifts have been worked. We could also go into those shifts and see exactly when employees have clocked in and out of those shifts. For supervisors, Time Express is a very useful tool. This allows them to see really a bird's eye view of their entire organization within a given day. So today it's Thursday, October 26th. We have a grid here showing all the different shifts that are being worked today, starting with the employee's first and last name. We see the scheduled start and end time. We see the actual clock in and out time, which of course could be different from scheduled start and end times. And then we see the client, the site, and the service that's being performed. This allows supervisors to go in here and compare actual versus scheduled start and end times. We can have notifications sent out to supervisors, managers, and schedulers if somebody missed their scheduled start time. So we can go in and quickly respond and maybe replace a person if they are not showing up to their shift, or send them notifications and reminders, or even open up that shift and push it out for self-scheduling or shift bidding so other employees will be alerted and be able to go on their app or on their computer and pick up the shift. Within this view, we can also go in and modify the schedule. So I can select a shift and I'll be able to see all the details about that shift, who the client is, what location is being worked, what service is being provided. And as the supervisor, I can actually go in here and modify the schedule as well. So I can update the shift, find a replacement for this individual, and I can even clock people in and out directly from here. So if someone missed a clock in time, but they were on site, I can clock them in manually from Time Express. Additionally, we can remove clock in and out times, and we can even start and end breaks or make the employees perform safety checks. A great way to look at this is through the map view here, which again really shows you a bird's eye view over a geographic region of all the different sites that you have employees working at. Each one of these blimps represents a site, and the number within the blimp represents how many employees are working at that specific site. If the blimp goes red, like 2 of them are, that means that there's some sort of incident at the site that I need to respond to. I can easily click on the site. I can see that here at the Turkey Lake Walmart, where I have security guards working, I have one person who is late. This employee was supposed to start at 8 o'clock. It's currently 8:08, so I can quickly respond to this. I can either message the employee directly through our built-in messaging feature. I can find a replacement for him. Or like I said before, I can open that shift up and push it out to my team of qualified employees, and it can be done in a first come first served manner where the first employee who sees the shift and picks it up can then jump in his car and go to the site to work. We can also see if a checkout was missed, if there are any open shifts that still have to be filled on that site, or if there are any upcoming shifts. So again, this is just a nice visual way to view the grid in Time Express. Finally, I'm going to review time processing. So after employees clock in and out on our system, that time and attendance data has to be approved within Celayix before we push it off to one of our payroll partners for payroll processing. This module that I'm opening up is the time processing module. There's many different ways to view a variety of different exports, whether it be a billing export, a check in and out verification export, payroll export. So I'm just going to choose a payroll summary export, which is going to give me a breakdown of all the different hours that my employees have worked within a given time frame. Again, I can customize what amount of time I'm looking at. In this case, we're just going to look at this week. So for this specific export, this is a payroll summary export. This can be customized as well, but for this specific one, I just have the employee ID of the employee who is working within this time frame. Again, we're looking at this specific week. I can see the amount of regular pay hours that that employee has worked within this time frame. I can see if there was any overtime worked within this time frame, and then I also see the total pay amount. So this is what we're going to have to pay this employee, and these are the numbers that we're going to send off to payroll for payroll processing. Additionally, we can have the check-in times recorded, so the actual check-in and out times of the employee for the shift that they worked, and we can also see the scheduled check-in and out times that they were supposed to work. Oftentimes, there may be a difference between these two. If I want to look at Leslie Brown, for example, and look at all the different shifts she worked within this time frame, I can click on her name, and I'll see all the different shifts, including the dates of those shifts. And then we can see exactly how many hours she worked on each of those shifts, along with the check-in and out times. Now, if we have to make any changes to this, we can always select individual shifts and update rates and hours. So if for whatever reason I need to pay Leslie more for this specific shift, I can go in here and edit her rates. All this information can be configured here before we push it off to payroll. If there are any changes we have to make to the shift, we can also update that shift. So we can change things such as the client that they worked for, the site that they worked at, or even the service that they performed. Oftentimes, the rates will be tied to the service or the site, so those will be changed as well if we do make changes to these. Finally, once we are happy with the time and attendance data from our employees, we can go ahead and approve this information. So I can select the shifts that I want to approve. I can approve these 3 shifts, which means they're locked in and they're ready to be sent off for payroll. Once approved, with the click of a button, I can go ahead and export this information either to PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, or to one of our payroll partners, such as iSolved or GreenShades. So again, just in review, I took you through how employees are clocking in and out on our system, how supervisors can go in and manage the time and attendance process, either by modifying time and attendance data, or going in and switching people in and out of shifts if there's been any mistakes. And then I showed you how we go through time processing to review the time and attendance data, make any changes to things like rates or location in terms of where employees worked or customers they work for, and then finally approving that information before we send it off for payroll processing.